you have to share your M file then. Okay, so we would like to evaluate your code.
Okay, but if you kindly means teach some, give some time to how to share the M file.
Okay, we'll discuss it with other speakers and then I'll let you know how you have to share it, okay?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, I solved third question. Okay. So
Huh?
in maze grid, I'm getting like matrix kind of thing. I'm not getting graph.
Matrix kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be like a surface? Oh no, so it's a contour plot, right?
Maze grid T, comma
Okay.
X.
Uh-huh. So okay, don't worry, I'll solve it myself. So
Okay.
these questions are not prepared by me, so I don't have much idea about it.
Okay.
So I'll solve it and then I'll check yours. No issues. Okay.
Okay.
It's
And
just that you should know how to plot it. Huh.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I solved, so I got the answer now.
Yeah. Any other doubt?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah,
No,
Yes.
some
Yes.
noise is coming. Hello. I solved this problem. Hello. So in contour,
Yeah.
it is showing some error in contour.
What error?
What error? Okay, wait. Error using contour line. Z must be size 2 cross 2 or greater. Z is we define sin t plus cos x. Hello.
Yeah.
We define Z equal to sin t plus cos x. T here is equal to input, and x is a function of
So
t here. So here it is written Z must be size 2 cross 2 by 2 or greater. Okay,
okay.
once you will solve, then we will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe in,
But
I think problem
but in the
formulation.
assignment we have a different question, right? Z equal to sin x cos y, something we have discussed. Like we have tried it yesterday only.
But y is not there. Na? Y is not there. T and x will be there. Na? In question, I think someone wrote
So see,
without.
for a contour plot, doesn't matter what is the variable. You have two independent variable and one dependent variable. That dependent variable will be a function of two independent variables. Okay.
Okay.
Now the function which is given in the question has either two independent variables or one independent variables that you have to identify.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So we'll be starting with the session.
okay, ma'am.
Nandita, sorry
Can
to interrupt for a second. Okay,
Yes, madam.
Avnish, I think
yeah.
we'll take the questions later.
Okay,
After
ma'am.
like
Yeah.
after.
So actually I want to just ask like you are talking about assignment, but I did not get any assignment.
Yeah,
So
so
Okay, no
that
issues,
is
no
the
issues.
thing.
We'll share it later.
We'll be posting a WhatsApp chat group link in the chat section. So
okay.
join the WhatsApp group through that link, and we'll be posting the assignment there again today. Some people
Oh,
joined in later, so they haven't received the assignment. It's
yeah.
fine. We
Actually, I did
understand that,
not
right?
I did not join WhatsApp link.
So we'll be posting the WhatsApp link in the chat box. Check that and join in. Okay. And we'll
Okay.
post
Okay.
the
Thank you.
assignment again today. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yes, Megha.
Okay. Yeah. All right,
Mm,
India. You can start
okay.
now.
Okay, so we'll be starting with the session. Yeah. So welcome all, and today we'll be discussing about. So I think I am audible to everyone clearly.
Yes, ma'am. You are admin.
Okay. 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 Yeah, so we'll be discussing about two fundamental types of describing data in MATLAB, that is array and matrices. Some operation, then different ways of creating arrays and matrices, followed by we'll be learning about solving linear equations. Then we'll be learning about random number generation, then loops and conditional statement. In loops, we'll be discussing for loop and while loop, and if else conditional statement. Okay, so let's start with array and matrices. So I won't be checking the comments now. So just keep posting if I have any doubt. Okay. Okay. So yesterday I was having some issue with MATLAB online. So if in case it crashes, I'll just switch to the offline version which I have. Okay. Now we have. So yesterday we discussed about array, which is a sequence of numbers. So I'm just creating a variable and giving some numerical value like 1, 2, 3. So this is a array. Okay. Now we have in this we have just one row and 3 columns. Some of the arrays have both the rows and columns. Okay, greater than 1. Those kind of arrays are called as 2D arrays, or we call it as a matrix. So let's just define a matrix as A equal to 1, 2, 3, semicolon 3, 4, 5. Let's say this. So I have told you yesterday that when you have to change your row, you have to give this semicolon. Okay. So this is the first row. We have 3 columns, 3 elements, semicolon. Second row, we have 3 columns, 3 elements. This is our matrix. It's a 2D array. Now, I want you guys to just think about how to create an array of 6 rows and 1 column. Just think about it for a minute. 6 rows and 1 column. 6 rows. One column. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. So I think it will be a single number followed by a semicolon. So we'll be
Yes.
repeating it 6 times, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So very good. So let's just create that array. 1 semicolon 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a column matrix. We call it as a column matrix. Okay. Now we'll be learning about different ways of creating an array and a matrix. So one thing which I told you yesterday is to create an array like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple form of creating an array. Another is to use a colon. And if you don't specify the size, the step size, it will by default take it as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting from 1, colon, ending at 6, step size of 1. If I want to specify a step size, 1.5, 6. So I'm doing all this in command window. If you guys want to save these things, you can just try this out in new script file. Go to new script file, save the file, keep on typing these commands, and when you run the code, it will show you the results. Okay. So here I specified the step size of 0.5. So it will be an increment of 0.5 from the previous element. Okay. Another is creating a matrix like this. I have 1 colon 3 colon 3 colon 5 colon 5. Okay. So if, yeah. Another is I can use a line space as a function. So x is equal to line space. Again, line space or colon, everything works like same. And 200. No, not 200. 20. Array, yeah. So line space is another function which just gives you an array starting with the initial number minus 10, step size of 10, and then ending at 20. Sorry. Minus 10 is the initial number, 10 is the final, and step size of 20. Okay. Now, yeah. Now, if you want to create an array of random numbers, okay, random number is any number coming in between 0 and 1. Okay, so for that, we will ask MATLAB to select any random number and create an array out of it. So for that, we have an inbuilt function called rand. So x is equal to rand. If I just say rand, it will give me a single number. Okay. If I want MATLAB to create a matrix out of random number, I'll say rand and 3 cross 3. So this means that I want to create a random number using function rand, and the size of the array will be 3 cross 3. It will be a matrix. So it will create a random number like this.
Excuse me, may I interrupt you, please?
Yeah.
Actually, in the previous, in which we have used a function line space,
Yes.
the step size is not looking 20, no, it's decreasing in like increasing minus 10 to minus 0.897. It's something different. Different. I'm not getting this step size.
Step size is 20, I think. No. The elements, number of elements is 20. No. Wait. So initial is minus 10, final is 10, and number of elements there is 20.
Okay, ma'am, how we get like step size?
How we get step size? So we have a initial number and a final number, and we want some x element in between them, so it will uniformly distribute the numbers
Yeah.
by x
So
element.
so how we get like how much difference between two numbers, like step size? They are like equally distributed, but how we can know like step size?
How, so there are two ways of doing it. Either you specify the step size, or either you specify the number of elements between two like final and initial and final values.
Yeah.
So this was your doubt?
No, well, actually, in case of line space function, when we are using this, so how we can get step size when we are using line space function? Like we can only define like whose is starting point and ending point and number of columns, number of element. But how we can define like number of like how much steps is going on?
So if you want to specify your step size, you won't use line column, you will use that colon thing.
Okay.
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 So we were in random numbers. So rand is used to select a random number. Rand 3 cross 3 is like creating a matrix out of random numbers, and we can create a column matrix also, like x equal to rand one column, two rand control 6 column. Okay, So these are the different ways of creating an array and a matrix. So yesterday I discussed some of the operations of matrices. If you remember, we have discussed about determinant, trace, and inverse of a matrix. So just try out one question. I'm giving you a set of linear equations to solve using matrix operation. Okay, so I'll be writing the equation here. Just think about it, how you're going to solve it, and just let me know. Then we'll solve it together. X. Okay, so I'll do it like this. A plus 2b, 2 into b. I can't write it here. I'll just do it here. So you guys have learned that if we have a set of linear equations, we can express them in the form of a matrix. So
Ma'am,
just mute yourself and write whatever you want in the comment box. Yeah, so even here, we are going to express this equation in the form of a matrix, which is AX equal to B, okay? And then we have to invert the matrix, multiply it with the column matrix to get the value of A, B, and C, okay? So let me just, so our matrix is, let's say I call this matrix as M, and let me make that matrix. This is 1, 2, 0, semicolon, 2, 5, comma, -1, 4, 10, comma, -1. I hope this is the matrix. Let's call another matrix as 0, semicolon, 3. Sorry, it's not 0. Colon 3. So you just have to inverse the matrix, multiply it with the column matrix to get the answer. Okay. Let's just do it like this, and then let's just verify. A equal to inverse M into N is there. Now, if we want to verify, what are we going to do? We'll have a matrix multiplication of this M into A minus N will give me 0, 0, 0. So,
Ma'am, actually you do one mistake. N will be 035. You have written 135. And N
no, but then I did correction there in the comment itself. It's not 0, it's 1.
Where? After question. Okay. Okay.
So, so it is like I formed a matrix taking all the numeric value of the variables. I inverted it and multiplied with the column matrix. So as to I get all the values of the variable. I multiply the values of variable with their numeric values subtracted with the column matrix. I got residual as 1, which says that this result is verified. Okay. So this is the way you can solve a linear equation. It could have like any set of linear equations, like 5 equations, 7 equations. You can just invert the matrix, multiply it with a column to get the answer. Okay. So we have discussed about creating array and matrices of different types and solving linear equations, and also generation of random numbers. Now we will be discussing about loops and conditional statement. Okay. So for loops and conditional statement, I'll just write one code and check whether it works or not here. So again, so I will be starting with the for loop. So for loop is basically if you have a problem which says that you need to keep on evaluating given some condition is satisfied. Okay, so in such conditions, in such problems, you have to use for loop and while loop. Now they have a very basic difference in their application. we have for loop. I want for my variable v is varying from 0 colon 0.2 is a step size colon 1. Oh, sorry. I have to. Okay. I want MATLAB to display my v value and end the. Yes, working. Okay. So what I did is I used for loop. I have a condition where it is executing the loop for a specific number of times. The specific number of times is given here. My v is starting from 0, step size of 0.2 till it goes till 1. It will display the value of v and it ends. Okay. So let's just do another code where we will be creating a matrix of order, let's say 5. So it's called as a Hilbert matrix. Do you know what Hilbert matrix is? I don't think many of you will be knowing about Hilbert matrix. So I'll just write the code. So let's say I'm creating a matrix of size 5 cross 5. Okay. So I'll say S is 5. I hope it works. I'll just assign H as my matrix, and initially I'll assign zeros to all the elements of the matrix. Okay, so my S is 5. I want MATLAB to create a matrix H where all elements will be 0 and size of the matrix will be 5 cross 5. Now I'll start my for loop. For, let's say I denote column by C and rows by R. My C going from 1 to S. Inside one for loop, I'll be using another for loop where my row will go from 1 to S. Inside that, I'll define my matrix H. Element of a matrix is equal to, you can have any formula, but Hilbert matrix is R plus C minus 1. Okay. Yes. So what I did in here is I want to create a matrix of size 5 cross 5. Okay. But I want every element, but the definition of every element in this matrix will be like 1 upon whatever row it belongs to, whatever plus whatever column it belongs to minus 1. Okay. This is the definition of every element belonging to this matrix. Okay. So I'll start my loop for C equal to 1 colon S. So let's say loop starts with C equal to 1. Okay. First column, inside first column, R equal to 1. First column, first row, this is 1. H 1 1 equal to, this is the definition. It gives me the element. Now again, for loop continues. R equal to, for C equal to 2. Inside that, for, For c equal to 1, again the for loop continues in here. For r equal to 2, it gives me the element. For r equal to 3, r equal to 4, r equal to 5, then it ends completely. It starts again with c equal to 2, r equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again it goes to c equal to 2, r 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I hope you guys are okay. So did you guys get what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you an application of for loop. Why did you assume matrix as zero matrix at the start? Because I have to define every element of the matrix, giving some definition inside the for loop. If I don't define a matrix before the for loop, MATLAB won't get what I'm actually saying it to do. I just can't say MATLAB to assign some numbers to something. Okay, so I have to just give them that I have a matrix where every element is zero. I can define any element in that matrix using its row and column. Now inside for loop, I am defining that element by a definition using its rows and column. It's changing, it's updating that element numeric value based on its definition. So I think I'm clear now. Okay. So this is one of the application, or you can say how we use for loop. So every for loop has to end with the end. Otherwise, it will show you an error. Okay. So this is our for loop. Now we will be discussing about while loop. Okay. Let's just close this. Yes. So for loop, I have specified how many a number of times you have to keep on executing the loop. Okay. But for while loop, I have to specify the condition. If that condition is true, it will keep on executing the loop. As the condition is false, it will stop executing the loop. Okay, this is the only difference between for loop and while loop. As an example, we will evaluate 10 factorial. 10 factorial is, you all know, 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 till 1. Okay, so let's say I defined variable as 10 and another variable as f, which is equal to n for now. Okay, I'll start my loop while condition n is greater than 1. Okay, n is greater than 1, n equal to n minus 1, f equal to f into n Okay, so I'll explain this. We have to find out factorial of n, factorial of 10. Okay, so I defined a variable n which is equal to 10. Okay, and f equal to n which is equal to 10. Now let's start the loop. My n, its numeric value is 10, which is obviously greater than 1. So it will go inside the loop. Okay, if I specified n is equal to 0 or minus 10, minus 20, whatever, it won't execute the loop. It will just display f equal to n, which is whatever is the number, less than 1. Okay, now inside my loop, my new n, I am defining the new n, updated value of n, which is equal to n minus 1, which is 9. So here, to the left of the equal to sign, I have updated n, okay? To the right of the equal to sign, I have the initial value of n. So MATLAB will update the value of n using the initial value it has, subtracting 1. Okay. Now, f, it will update the value of f as f into n. Initially, f is 10. My updated value of n is now 9. So it will be 10 into 9 ends. But my n is greater than 1. It will start the loop again. My updated n will be 9 minus 1, which is 8. And my updated f is updated f was 10 into 9 multiplied by 8. It ends. Again, 8 is greater than 1. It will go, it will be 7. F will be f 10 into 9 into 8 into 7. It ends. In this way, it will keep on multiplying till n is greater than 1, like till 2. Okay. And then it displays the value of f. So difference between for loop and while loop. Acha, okay. I'll just give you a time to practice both the codes. I'm really sorry. Okay. I'll just you can obviously use for loop instead of while loop. You just have to give it a condition. Okay. So it is like my n starting from 1 colon 10. So for loop, my n starting from 1 colon 10. The one I have done it here. So it will take n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, multiplying it with f, and then you can use it. It's like you can code in any form you want, just have to change the conditions. It's just an example of how we can use a while loop. Okay. Now somebody wants me to repeat the difference between for and while loop. The only basic difference between for loop and while loop is if I have if I am specifying that I want a particular loop, I want this particular loop to continue executing for 3 times. Okay, my initial for loop, this for loop will continue execution for 3 times. Inside this for loop, it will continue execution for 3 times. C equal to 1, it enters another loop. R equal to 1, it ends, but it should go till 3. So R equal to 2, R equal to 3. Over, it will go to the first loop. S equal to 2, again the R1, 2, 3 ends. So here I am specifying the condition or specifying or telling the MATLAB the number of times it has to execute a particular loop. Okay, but in while loop, I will specify the condition till n greater than 1, till n greater than equal to 1, or till n less than 1. So every time I am specifying the condition, it will compare the updated value of n with 1. It will decide whether n is greater than 1 or not. If it is greater than 1, it will execute the loop, else it will just bypass the loop and displays you the result. Okay. Yeah, kind of. For loop convergence time is a little higher than while loop because of some like for these codes it's obviously same because the code is very small. Okay, but if you are using a very complex kind of code where you have multiple if-else statement inside a very big for loop, So there obviously execution time matters, but still not that much. So let's say n is equal to 1:10. Okay. And wait. I'll just use the for loop. Okay, so I have to f equal to n. Let's see the okay, no. Oh, it should be n plus 1, right? N equal to 1:10. Inside that, I'll say f equal to n. Then I'll update the value of n equal to n plus 1 and update f is equal to f into n. Then I'll end the loop and display f. No, it's still not coming. I'll let you know this. Okay, who is this? Shreya, I'll just let you know how we can use for loop for calculating factorial of 10. With n plus 1 also, it's not coming. Okay, so we will. No, but here it will go from 1 to 10, so we don't need any kind of condition. This is happening because every time loop runs, it stores the value of.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you have written f is equals to n. So when n
It
is
should be
equals.
above, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Outside the loop.
Yes, ma'am.
So when n is equal to 1, my updated n will be 2. But then I want the previous n to be multiplied with the updated n.
You can keep f is equals to 1 outside the loop, and then we can Begin the loop
but
with
it won't evaluate that. It will keep on executing the loop. It won't update the value of s. Did you get what I said?
yes, ma'am.
So it
Yes,
will
yes.
not leave the code. It will keep on evaluating here, and then we'll look into this. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, wait. I is equal to 1 for n equal to 10 colon minus 1 colon 1. What I equal to I into n.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have pasted one loop, ma'am. It is showing the correct result with chat box.
Ha. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So this is for for loop and while loop. Now we will be discussing about if else conditional statement. Okay. So let's just try to make identity matrix using if else conditional statement and for loop. Okay. So again, we will be defining matrix T is equal to 0, 3 cross 3. Okay. Okay. And then for column is equal to 1 to 3. Inside that, I want for every row equal to 1, 2, 3. If my R is equal to C, then HRC is equal to 1, else HRC is equal to 0, and it is showed it here. I have to set. It's not updated. Not updating. I'll just move to. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Yeah. So again, I defined a zero matrix 3 cross 3. Then I used for loop for every column. Inside that, for every row, if R is equal to C, I have element should be 1, else element should be 0. This is how we created a identity matrix. Now, no, I defined H as zero matrix. So I just switched to my offline MATLAB because that was not working in online. I don't know why. I just can't go back, I think. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so can we have some other if else problem? Let's think of some if else problem like so let's say you have a array of random numbers. You create an array of random numbers, then apply if statement. If that random number is divisible by 2 or it is an even, um, just calculate the even numbers and odd numbers in that array of random numbers. Did you get it? Yeah, so Ravindra, the same thing has happened to me. Can you please explain R equal to C? So if I want to tell MATLAB that just check the value of numeric value of R should be equal to C, you have to use two equal to signs here in MATLAB. So then it checks the numeric value, and if it is true, then it assigns the element numeric value as 1. Otherwise, it assigns at 0. Okay. So I just want you guys to just try this out. Create an array of 5 random numbers. Okay. Then use a for loop. Call every element from the array. Use if else condition statement. Ask if this random number is divisible by 2, count it as 1, else count it as 0. Do both for even and odd. Okay. I didn't get you. Can't you directly assign all values as 1? Others may just try out this. Can't you directly assign all values as 1? Why do you want me to assign all values as 1? And then I just change all values to 0. Okay, I'll just type the question. Create array of 5 Okay. So you can just try out this assignment maybe later. We have yet another thing to discuss. Okay, so I'll be just I'll just give you an idea of what how function file is created and is called in script file and used. Okay, so I have so you know that we have a function file. Okay, so in new we have a script file and a function file. Okay, now I want to have some function which is I have to define some function. So let's say I'll go here. So I already have a function file here. Okay. Okay. So I'll go here. I have a function. It asks me to give the output argument, the name of the function file, and the input argument. Okay. Let's just have a problem and then we'll solve it. So let's just have that. We have to find out the average and standard deviation of elements of an array. Okay. So I have to define a function to find out the average of all the numbers and standard deviation of all the numbers. Okay. So for that, I'll go to function file. I'll go to function file. I'll select a function file. Then here, the function file. In output argument is what the function is calculating. Okay, the output argument, what the function is calculating. The untitled 2 is the name of the function file, and input is what the user is giving as an input. So here as an input, I'll be giving the numbers. Okay, and function will be taking that numbers, calculating average and standard deviation of the numbers, and so input will be an array, and result will be two variables. Okay, here I have defined two variables, m and s. Stat is the name of function file and x is my array. Okay, now I just calculate the length. I just calculate the number of elements there in the array as length. Okay, length of x will give me n. N is the number of elements in that array. Now to calculate an average, m, which is this, the output argument m, for every output argument I have to define a function. Okay, or a equation through which it will be calculating the value of our output argument. Okay, so m is equal to sum of x. Sum of x means all the elements inside that array are being summed up. Summation of all the elements in the array divided by the number of elements of the array. Okay, s, another output argument. The equation for it is square root of sum of x minus n, x minus for every element for x minus m dot 2 by n, whatever is the function, whatever is the equation. Okay, so I've used dot here. Otherwise, it will take it as a matrix operation, and it will calculate x minus m as a matrix, and it will do a matrix multiplication between x minus m into x minus m. I don't want a matrix operation here. I want every element to be squared. That's why I have used dot. Now, just make sure whatever you are saving, whatever you are keeping the function name, you have to save your function file with that name, stat.m. .m is the extension, MATLAB file extension, and stat is the function name. So I have defined a function in here. Now in any script file, if I call the function, I just have to write the function name, and MATLAB will start searching for that function file and will call that function. Okay, so in my script file, I have defined a variable values where I have 4 different numbers. Now I want to calculate the value of average and standard deviation. I just call the function file and give it the input. It will give me the output. Okay. Script. So here I have average is 456 and standard deviation is this. Okay. So just try this out. I'm showing you the code. Just go to new function file. Just change the output argument to ms. Give any function name you want, but just make sure that that function name and the name you are saving that function file should be same. In that way, MATLAB can easily search for that function file. Input argument is x. So are you guys with me? Are you trying this out? X in bracket because of the by default we have to put the input argument inside bracket. Output argument should be in square bracket and input in normal bracket. Okay, how to go to function file? Okay, I'll repeat it again. I'll repeat everything again. So we have to first create a function file. I'll just go to new. There first is script file. We'll come to that later. Second is function file. Go to function file. Here. In function file, in output argument, just give 2 variables. Okay. Make sure whatever variable you are giving inside the function file, you have to give equation to calculate the value of that variable. Okay. You can give any function name. Make sure the name of the function you're giving in here and the name by which you're saving your function file should be same. input argument. Then for calculating average, I want to sum up all the numbers, dividing it by number of elements that I have. Okay. So if you have an array, if you want all the elements to be summed up, you just used a function, inbuilt function, sum bracket that array x. Okay. So to calculate the number of element in that function, you just have this inbuilt function length. It will give you the number of element. M is equal to sum of all the elements divided by n, and s is square root sum x minus m dot to the square by n. This is standard deviation. So in script file, okay, for to create a script file, just go to new script. Then inside there we have defined a array giving it 4 elements. You want me to write a function file fresh? But why do you want me to write a function file fresh? I hope everyone is getting answers now. For calling a function file, just write stat bracket your input variable. Yes, you have to edit everything. That is the by default untitled is showing, but just write here your output variable ms. Untitled, you have to give your function name, whatever function name you want, my first function, whatever it is. Your input argument, you have to change it. You have to write all the equations here. And then save this with the name you have given here, the untitled. In place of untitled, if you have given as my first function, save this file with the name of my first function.m. Why answer is not coming? Any error is coming? Yes, if you have saved it, obviously you can access the file in future. So I have not practiced it in MATLAB online, so I don't have an idea whether, but obviously if we have a MATLAB online, we can create a function file in here also. Oh, obviously, haha. So after creating the script file, save it as whatever name you want. Then click to run. After clicking to run, just go to your workspace, search for your output variables, average or standard deviation. Yes, we always have to save the function file with the name of function, because how would your MATLAB know that you want this particular function to be used in this script file then? In future you'll have like multiple function files and multiple script codes. So you want multiple functions to be taken at like different times. So MATLAB have to able to search if this command is asking for this particular function. So you always have to save your function name and function file with the same name. See, so here in the function, the input argument is in the form of an array. I have described X as array because I have told it to calculate the length of that array, then sum and square root. It will always take it in the form of array. Okay. If you want it to take as a single argument, single variable, you have to obviously change this. Then obviously you can't calculate sum and standard deviation of a single number. Okay, so acha, so if you have used square bracket, then it is okay. If you have used square bracket, then it is taking it as an array. I thought you were using a single number. You have to not run function file. You have to run script file. In script file, you will be calling the function file, and then you have to run the script file. Okay, so yes, correct. So if your guys are done, we'll recall what we have discussed today. So we started with the discussion about arrays and matrices. Array is something like a sequence of numbers enclosed in a square bracket. Matrix is a 2D array. 2D means it has rows and columns both. Yeah, Deepak, I said, yeah, you are right. Your answer is right. Okay, sorry. Shashikant, what is your question? So you put this command stat like this. It giving answer this only, not standard deviation. Not standard deviation. So just check the equation of standard deviation. If it's giving answer for average, everything is working then. It's taking it as an array. It's taking the input argument as an array. Have you used dot before square power? So you have to run the script file. So script file will give you the answer. Function file is just to create a function and save it. Every time you have to call the function in script file, you have to write the command, then you have to click on run the script file. That script file, that command will call the function, will evaluate using the equations and give you the answer. See, I have defined in script file, I've defined two variables as average and standard deviation. Okay, so as I have defined it here, every variable will be stored in workspace. So either I ask it to display the result. If I ask it to display the result, it will display it on command window. If I am not asking it to display any result, it is just displaying that I have run a script file. I have named the script file as script, so that's why it's showing that I have run the script file, and the values of the output variable which I have defined is in the workspace, and it has updated the values. Okay. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, so we were discussing about matrices and arrays. We have discussed about different ways of creating array. Okay. Sometimes we are using the step size. Sometimes we are asking it to give like a number of elements between the two numbers, like a range. Okay, and we have random number generation, for which I'm using function rand. Now rand could be either used as a single number, or rand could be used by making a 3x3 matrix, or any column matrix, or row matrix. Okay, so every time MATLAB, when it is asked to generate a random number, array of random number, it always creates random numbers uniformly distributed between 0 and 1. Okay. Now, one more thing. If you have a matrix, if you have two matrices, and if you want a matrix operation, so you all must be knowing that matrix multiplication is very much different from a normal multiplication. Normal multiplication, we just multiply two elements, but in matrix multiplication, it is multiplication of two elements of rows, column, and then sum of all those multiplication of two elements. Okay, so array operation always includes a dot. Whenever I'm using a dot anywhere, it means it's an array operation, and it will be a element wise operation, element to element. I have two arrays, I have to multiply it using a dot. First element will be multiplied to first element, second element multiplied to second element. Okay, matrix multiplication is very different. If you want matrix multiplication, you just don't use dot. Okay, now we just try solving a set of linear equations. Solving a linear equation is a very common application of MATLAB. So you just have to invert the matrix. Just check when you are inverting the matrix. Sometimes it will give you a warning. Yesterday only it gave us a warning that condition number is matrix is badly conditioned, and so results will not be that accurate. Okay, if you go for a very large size matrix, 7 cross 7, 10 cross 10, in that way inverting it may cause some kind of error, and so it will give us a warning that condition number is very poor, and so results are not that accurate. Okay. So solving linear equations. Then we came to loops and conditional statement. We had for loop and while loop. Generally, everyone uses for loop. Okay. So for loop is like it comes with a condition. It comes with a specific number of times we have to keep on executing the loop. Okay. You can have any kind of conditions. Okay. Then while loop, you have to specify a condition like it is greater than 1, it is greater than equal to 1, or whatever it is. Every time if you are starting a loop, just end it. Just end using end. Okay, otherwise it will show you an error. And just notice one thing, that while you are using for loop and while loop, while you are using that specifying the conditions, I am not using a colon, semicolon there. Okay. Then we created a matrix. Then we had if and else statement. We created identity matrix. Then I told you about one example assignment. Then we had some idea of how to create a function file and use it in script file. Okay. So this is it. We are done with today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask. And about assignment, we'll be discussing with other speakers also. And maybe we'll come up with some assignment and we'll let you know how to submit it. Okay. So this is till the beginners level. And in the next week, we'll be discussing about, yet not discussed, but some optimization tool. Like minimizing a function, maximizing a function, something like that. Okay. You guys have any doubt? Will there be more assignments? Yeah, the more you practice, the more you learn. And I think, yes, there will be more assignments. Still, actually, we all, like, this workshop is being conducted in like 4 or 5 batches. So every speaker has a different now like kind of questions. So we just are trying to come up with something very common so that everyone will have some, like, every assignment will be same for every batch. I think, yes, we have some more assignments. Let's see. And this is it then.
Yeah, guys, if you have any question, you can ask it now. Other than the assignment, from the class, you have some questions.
Yeah, I have one question. Like how we can create one matrix of a particular size of each element which are integer. Like, is there element random matrix?
Integer element, random matrix. Because everyone else mute yourself. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so if you want to create a random matrix of any size, of like integer, or think about it, it would be using a random number.
Yes, ma'am.
Like
Just think about it and just let me right now.
yeah, like
I have to process.
when we use like rand function, so we get a random matrix, but elements are real, not integer. But we want to like all the elements must be integer. So what to do?
So you're asking about greater than one.
Excuse me, ma'am. Your voice is
You're
not.
asking greater than one.
Yeah, greater than yes.
There is no such function in which gives you a number greater than one randomly.
Yeah.
You can try making some function of your own where you just add 3-4 kinds of numbers together to make it like greater than one. You can do it in any form, but just is that we have an index function where you can have a random number between 0 and 1 only, not like any random integer. Okay. So if you need to create any matrix like that, maybe you can use any kind of
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
yes.
So earlier you said that assignment that giving random numbers in an array and then finding summation of even or odd numbers. So let's say like we defined an array of 5 elements by rand command. Then we applied for loop for then how we will call that individual element? We will call it as AI or like what? I mean, I'm not getting how we can write a variable in the for loop.
So yesterday, did you attend the class?
Yes, ma'am, I attended.
Okay, so I taught something about indexing, calling
Yes.
elements. So yeah,
I am saying. So the concept is like n%2 equal to 0, and then I will do the summation as summation will start from 0, and then every element for which it is divisible by 2, then it will add, right?
Yes.
So the concept is clear, but like when you are writing for loop, you have to write, say, if it was simply n, then we can say n%2 equal to 0, and then it will go inside loop. But when we are defining an array, then the element would be AI, right? A1, A2, A3, A5. So if I am calling AI, then like how do I write that?
I goes from 1 to 5.
So first I define I equal to 1 semicolon 5. Then I put
So
for
it is
I
like
for AI %2 equal to 0, right?
Yes.
So it will execute AI, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this was only down. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
So,
Hello, ma'am. Can you please explain in short the system of linear equations? Actually, I completely missed it. Please, how to solution.
Okay. So let's say we have a linear equation. Okay. So we have like 3 linear equations. Okay. With 3 variables A, B, C. Okay. So you must have learned that we can express this linear equation in the form of a matrix operation. Ax equal to B. You must have learned this.
Yes.
Okay. So to calculate x, what we do, we just inverse A and multiply it with B. You didn't get it.
No. Yes. I know the concept. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So just that I was saying that we have, so we were practicing it with one equation, one set of equation. I just made a matrix. Some random matrix I'm doing. This is our matrix. Column matrix is So if you want to get a solution, and if you want to verify, hello. So did you get it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm typing the code.
Oh, okay, okay. So if you guys need any code right now, I can just show you so that you can just type it for a reference if anything missed out.
Ma'am, for the remainder command, we have to use percent n %2 is equal to 0.
Yes, or remainder command.
Yes, ma'am. As we do in C++ and all.
You're
If
talking
we are
about
checking for even and odd, ma'am, we can check the remainder by dividing it by 2.
it is just a slash, not percentage.
Ma'am, but every number would be divisible by 2, no?
Yes. Yeah. Assignments are not yet out.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm talking about, I have a query regarding the question assignment that you gave yesterday. So you have given T and X, and there we have to define mesh grid X and Y. So Y was not given.
So that question was not prepared by me. I think yes, the T is Y.
Yeah, T should be Y.
Yeah, and was there any Z?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
That we
Just
have
do with T and Y.
9x plus cos X cos Y. That we have to define.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in today's assignment problem, we have to create a array of 5, a of random number.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Speak up.
And if we create random. Hello.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, I'm listening.
If we create random number, then that will be between 0 and 1. And
yes.
Yeah, if we create random number, then that will be between 0 and 1. Then how it will become even or odd?
So for even decimal numbers are divisible by 2, right?
No, if we create random number, then that will be between 0 and 1.
So 0.5 is between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
0.4 is between 0 and 1, and 0.4 is even, right?
Okay.
Ma'am, instead of defining a random variable, we should define the array only, then we can do it. Like, I mean, if we define random variable, there is no guarantee that it would be an integer, and on top of that, it would be an even number. 0.4 wouldn't be recalled as an even number. So let's just define an array that we can do randomly and then apply the what you learned, right?
Yeah, you can do it that way also. No issues. Huh? I just want you to get the hand on for loop and if loop all together.
Yes, ma'am.
If it is not a random number, you can use your own integers, made up integers. And I just want you to get that concept of adding every time adding it to the count of even number and odd number. Initially count is 0 0 when the loop starts. If a element comes, if it's a even, 0 plus 1, in the even, odd is 0 only. If it is odd is 0 plus 1, even is whatever it is.
Nandita, we
So
are
I think,
done with today's syllabus, right?
yeah, right. We're done with today's
Yeah.
syllabus,
Okay.
and yeah, and I think we are done with doubts also. So let's close then, and we'll be letting you know about assignments.
Yeah, assignments we'll like message you in the group
Okay.
also, so that you can keep a tally on that.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
You just tell that point 4 is the even number. Even number are answered for integer, not fractions.
Can you please write it here? I can't listen you to you. Like you're not audible.
Okay.
Oh, you're getting standard deviation to be 0. Please suggest. Uh, what changes have you done? Are you getting average? Standard deviation as 0. Go to your file, sorry, function file. यार STD यार हाँ Okay, so We'll end today's session.
Sure, Namrata.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Sure. We'll meet on next Saturday then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.